smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena April 18th through the 19th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right, certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in to Don't Punt Hour. Here's runs to the ones and twos. As always, come take weeknight. You guys can join in 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Going solo, should be joined by DeMornay Pierson-El shortly, as he will be joining us for the rest of the hour. But in the meantime, tonight starts off the college basketball crown. Nebraska basketball is set to tip off, in about 30 minutes here versus Arizona State. Arizona State, more of a veteran team, a lot of seniors, pretty much their entire offense coming from that senior group. Nebraska, pretty much a little bit of the same story. They're a little bit younger, but not by much. Guys like Connor Esijan, well, he'll be back for another year. Sam Hoiberg, but obviously the big ones, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary, both gone. Braxton Mia did list as available for today. He had the back injury. He was questionable up until I think about 10 minutes ago. I saw Robin Washut post that he is going to be available. Braxton Mia there, but Raleigh Wooster is out for this game. We kind of knew about that one. It seemed unlikely, but it is official for tonight. No Raleigh Wooster, but you do got everybody else. Excuse me, Raleigh Wooster, he is going to be out. Braxton Mia, he will be available, and there is Gavin Griffiths. That's the one I was blanking on there for a second. He is going to be questionable, so we'll see if he is in. Again, not necessarily a guy who's guaranteed a ton of minutes night in, night out, but last game of the year, you never know, especially with Raleigh Wooster being out, you might need to find that production from him. So hopefully he's available. And the expectations for this game, I think it's been a rough year for Husker basketball, especially to end it. But you can end the season on a good note. I mean, that's the one thing about this tournament. You look at other schools like Northwestern who had the opportunity to play in the NIT or College Basketball Crown, and simply due to injuries, they're just don't feel great about it. They denied to, as well as they might have had some guys in the portal as well that they're worried about, and just didn't feel good about bringing a roster. Nebraska basketball, they didn't necessarily have anybody hit the portal on them. They're able to bring everybody in here outside of obviously Raleigh Wooster, who will be out. But I do see Morty Pierson-El, the co-host as always. Let's go ahead and plug him in. How's it going on a Monday night?
It's going better now that my computer working.
Yeah, you're working on like an old Gateway computer. I mean, that thing's taking forever to fire up the morning.
It was me. I was doing some stuff, and it was kind of dead. You know how it takes it a second to kind of get back up and running after it dies? Yeah, I got caught. That's on me. Bad time management. That's my fault.
Yeah, that'll happen. The whole startup on those will take a while. Good morning. I was just talking Husker Hoops. You didn't miss a whole lot. They have the opportunity to not end the season in such a miserable way. Like that's the goal, where you can actually end the season on a good note and feel good about it and put some more tape out there for your program, for any of the guys sitting in the portal that, it's not March Madness, but there's only 4 teams left in March Madness. The NIT is just getting started. What are your hopes for Nebraska basketball tonight versus Arizona State? And I'll look up the odds in the meantime.
A strong showing, consistency, some type of fight, something that where you can end the year proud and be, okay, well, I like how things are going. It's an evaluation for, people that are in at the university now that are going to be coming back hopefully next year, to step up. And it's an opportunity for, maybe some players out there who see Nebraska as a perfect fit for them.
Yeah, and I am curious. Starter him and text line. How interested in this game are you? Like, if you're driving right now, wait for a good spot to text. But like, if you're a fan of basketball, Nebraska basketball, like, how excited are you to actually watch this game? The pain's worn off a little bit for me. I am actually excited to at least watch Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary go out there one more time. It's definitely not the same excitement I would have had if it was March Madness, but enough times passed where I'm excited. I want to see these guys have a good tournament, and they are favored versus Arizona State. The spread, Nebraska's favored -4.5. Money line on us, -230. Money line on Arizona State is +190. And like I said, that spread's 4.5 right now, favoring Nebraska. And that feels about right. Arizona State, they won 3 conference games. At least for Nebraska's case, yeah, you were negative in conference play, but you won 7 of 13. Arizona State, I mean, they shouldn't compete. They were pretty woeful in the Big 12 this year. And this was my only fear with this tournament. Like, I don't want to have Nebraska somehow look even worse.
Yeah.
If you drop this game, you do somehow look even worse than when you drop
it depends on the style that it's dropped. If it's a competitive game and, a 3-point kind of how it was like against Maryland, at Maryland type situations, I don't think that's, that's not something you can be as mad about. It makes the loss, feel a little better. Especially, if you have your younger guys, your guys that are coming back, at least show up and accept a role, or, show that they can, manage the storm with certain things. That's something to end the season on and to build on in the off season. But if it's a terrible loss, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one of those where like they're just shooting, they pull in Alabama and they make 25 plus 3-point shots, I'll be like, okay. Just one of those nights where it doesn't seem to really matter what anybody's doing. We'll get some of the text line. I asked, how excited are you for this game? Unknown texter, it's still the Huskers, and it's against the Hurley. Go Big Red. And then Jordan P. Any chance to beat a Hurley is a good day. Man, the Hurley, the Hurley heat is strong out there. We also got Bruce off of YouTube saying, let's go Big Red. So the excitement's still there.
For sure. I mean, as it should be. It's Nebraska. That's it. I don't want to. It could be, the rifle team, and it's still gonna pull a crowd. You know what I mean? That's just the pulling, the fandom that Nebraska has.
Yeah, and it makes me proud. I like to pat ourselves on the back sometimes, and I'm excited about it. Like, this is enough time moves, and eventually you'll get excited again, regardless of the place you're playing. So it is good. Like, I keep using Northwestern. It's not a great example because it's not like Northwestern was a bunch of quitters. Just
different situation.
Yeah, injury wise, it's going to be tough. So it's when you look at the two opportunities, it's like at least Nebraska didn't have a ton of guys hit the portal. Yeah, you're going to have guys leaving because they're seniors. But it's not like your head coach got fired. Everything's still intact. Just didn't end the way you wanted it to. But you have an opportunity to just play some postseason and win a few games and end the year on a good note. Bryce Williams over under.
Over.
I was looking at some lines.
Over.
I didn't even give you the number.
Over.
I'll say. I bet you if I were to, I haven't seen like hardly any lines out for this game. Bryce Williams, 22 points, 22 and a half.
Over.
I'm going to go over as well. Juwan Gary, 18 and a half.
I think over. And I want to say under, but again, this could be, the last game. I think the energy is going to be high. They've kind of had some time to rest, kind of lick their wounds. I think he can have over 18 and a half.
I can see it. This seems like a game where Juwan Gary tries to do maybe a little bit too much. I don't think it'll be to the point where it hurts the team, but I'd go under on it. This just feels like Bryce Williams. My hope is this becomes a Bryce Williams highlight tour.
Hopefully we can get 6 players in the double digit. That's my hope.
Well, yeah. I mean, that'd be a dream. That's a rarity, though. That's happened on this team. You get 3, and then you get some 8 6s, and maybe a couple points on the free throw line. I'm curious, though. I know Braxton Mia is available. I'm not sure if he's going to be 100%, though. How much of a concern is it, say, even if you get Mia, but he's only 70%?
I mean, if he wants to play and he's okay to play and it's his decision and whatnot, so be it. But, don't try and force something. If he can, he can. It is what it is. But if he's strong enough to go, I don't care if it's, 10 to 15 minutes. I'll take it.
If he's not, though, it's like more of the question. I worry about that. That's the only concern with our Arizona State for me is, our bigs.
Well, we had enough time to figure it out with somebody else. I know that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And when you're, again, talking about a lot of these teams in this college basketball ground, all very similar endings to their season. Like a lot of these teams at one point in time had a pretty good resume. Whether it was the middle of the season or late in the season, they did enough to piss it away, essentially. Whether they lost first round in conference, didn't even get into the conference tournament, as in Nebraska's case. But resume-wise, still had enough good wins to get them there. So when you're playing these teams, like I mentioned, Arizona State, it's a lot of seniors. They're going to be swinging. I mean, this is going to be two teams that I think there's, even less pressure because it's not March Madness. So I don't think you're going to see necessarily like a whole lot of tightness either. I think the guys are going to come out there playing really fast. It's going to be, I'd imagine, similar to what the BYU Alabama start is, where guys are just flying up and down the court. Nobody's really too worried about it. Because again, if you're playing on that team, it means you're not really, or you haven't seriously taken a look at the transfer portal yet. You're pretty preoccupied with your own team, and that, or you're just coming back for the upcoming year. So some good things on it. I will say, looking at the pool in there, Nebraska's got a pretty good chance to win the whole thing.
I was watching, I think it was Utah, and I think it was Gonzaga. I think the earlier game, I think was the first game.
Gonzaga was in March Madness.
Not Gonzaga. Maybe Xavier. I can't remember who Utah went. And I'm like, the style of play is if we lock in to kind of how things got back to before the second, losing streak. Like once we snap the first one, if they play like that type of ball, we'll be fine.
Yeah, just control the game. And Utah was playing Butler.
Butler, that's what it was. Okay, no, I knew they was playing somebody, but that was a back and forth game, a little sloppy, and then kind of when things kind of settled in, it became better. But if we can get back to once we snap that first win, after the first losing streak, if we can get to playing like that, the playing style of the teams that we beat, if we can get into that and kind of keep that momentum through this. I like our chances. We have a pretty strong chance to finish strong.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to win 4 games. You got the crown. It's not the biggest tournament. And I will say, if you're Nebraska, you probably got the better side of the bracket. I think you're looking at Utah as probably the favorite on our side. Nebraska or Utah. Maybe you throw in Butler. But on the other side, man, I thought Colorado was pretty decent. USC, definitely pretty decent. They got Villanova on that side as well. UCF and Cincinnati. The other side seems a little bit heavier. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Villanova from the other side of that bracket come out on top. But it's just going to be fun. How successful do you think this college basketball crown is, year one? In terms of actually getting viewership?
I mean, I think it's going to be successful, but just because, I mean, games aren't necessarily on. People are taking breaks. So, I mean, it's still, good basketball. I think it depends on how much, how the competitiveness kind of takes off. Hopefully there's not too much sloppiness, but if it's good games or whatnot, it'll generate buzz and people will kind of want to watch. So it just depends on the style of play. I think if it's decent to really good playing and it's competitive, I think a lot more people will tune in as the games continue to grow.
Yeah, I mean, the more I look at this college basketball crown, I like it. It's a little bit quicker than the NIT. You can slide it in there because, we're into the Final Four now in March Madness. So college basketball games are, if you're a college basketball fan, they're sacred at this point. There's not a whole lot left out there. So you're going to eat up just about anything they throw your way. And like I said, these teams are, resume-wise, they didn't have the best resumes, but they have some good wins in there, and they're good teams that have shown some flashes of being really good programs. So it's like you're going to watch some competitive basketball of a bunch of teams who are, again, when I look at this list of teams, it's a bunch of teams that are just kind of like right on the edge of being a consistent March Madness contender. When you look at Nebraska, Boise State, Arizona State, like I mentioned, Butler's in there, Georgetown. When you think of Butler, Georgetown, you think of just basketball schools.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Villanova, USC. You can go a few ways with those guys. And then even Colorado. I know Colorado's moved more towards football with Deion being there, but basketball, usually you think of basketball more than football when you're thinking about that program. So just be a good opportunity, I think, for a lot of these teams who are just on the outside looking in to have one more good round of play and just put something good on the table. Try to lure some recruits in that way and keep players that you are coaching interested. We also got Russ, more excitement for Husker basketball. Excited for sure. It's Nebraska. They had a floor sweeper team I'd watch. I do think the Huskers can take it. Go Big Red. And I think most people are picking the Huskers in this one. I think it'd be pretty surprising if it loses to Arizona State. Unless, like I said, Arizona State has one of those days where they're going to shoot, out of their mind from the gym. That being said, I mean, you got anything left to add on Husker hoops here? It's kind of just re-saying a lot of the same.
Like I said, with them being rested, hopefully they kind of get back to what they are. That's what I'm excited to see about.
Yeah, and then next year it's obviously gonna, what do you do to build it back up? I think could be a big run for a guy like Connor Sejan. He's been really cold down the stretch. Hopefully this tournament he can get his confidence back up, and again, maybe a little bit less pressure than March Madness, so he can come in there, because it got to the point with Connor Sejan where our offense with Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary, it stayed pretty consistent throughout the year, but we'd have some spells where I think they kind of figured out Connor Sejan, and he'd have some games where he was really nullified, just constantly pushing him off screens, having him fading on those 3-point shots, not letting him to be able to just get his feet set and stand there for a second. What do you expect from him in this tournament run? Do we see some more of the old Connor Sejan?
I'm hopefully, even if it's, I mean, even Ray Allen, had a dribble to create some space for certain things and everything like that, regardless of it. Out of him, I just want to see more confidence. Not to say that he's not, but I think with him, of course, his rhythm, of course, just feeling good, but his confidence and consistent. Just kind of find your rhythm early. Whether and it don't always have to be a three. You can take 2 dribbles in. Shot fake. They know you're going to shoot. Use that to your advantage and whatnot. Sink easy twos to kind of get you building your rhythm up, and then let it start raining from 3. So hopefully, like I said, he finds his rhythm, and it's just not from beyond the arc. Even if you have to take a few dribbles to inside, mid range equals points too. So hopefully he adds that to his game.
Yeah, and I think, going back to the guys have had enough time to work on whatever weaknesses they think they might have, get healthy. For him, it's always been finish insides a little bit more. Make people pay for chasing you the way they do on the perimeter. It's not fair to use Casey as comparison because Casey was pretty unreal at Nebraska.
But Casey he wasn't afraid to drive to the paint.
Exactly.
He wasn't like he created a bucket, whether it was beyond the arc, whether it's a floater, whether it's an easy 2. Like he got into the nitty gritty of the defense and still made you pay. And like it's from me saying it's easier than maybe what it is or whatnot, or some people just aren't comfortable. That might be not just his game or whatnot. Casey didn't have an issue with it. He got into the teeth of it and had a floater, had a little mid-range shot and everything like that. And he was kind of an energy ball. That was his thing.
Yeah, and I'll give him some credit too. It's like that stuff happened progressively. Like by the time he wasn't a great ball handler, but he became a really good ball handler by the time he was done here at Nebraska. And a lot of that you just saw him finishing through the trees. I mean, anytime he'd cut, you'd see people trying to reach their paws in there, but he was just really good at making people pay for it. And that's what you want to see out of Connor Essegian. It's like, I understand, like, you just made 2, and that heat check feels like the next shot. They're going to be chasing you like crazy. And, like, I don't need you to heat check from the logo or take a deep 3. Like, I want your next heat check to make somebody pay. They're just going to be pressing you so hard on the perimeter that it won't be too hard to fake them out and just burn them back door. And then if you get it, again, if you're not that comfortable finishing around the trees, they're going to be crashing down on you pretty hard. Someone's going to be open.
Lob it, throw it. People are going to be crashing,
So that's really it for him is like, you just got to make people pay when you are shooting it well. Because if you, and this isn't, to pick on him, if you look at his season totals, it was actually a really good year for him. Like his 3-point percentage was good. Despite what it felt like a cold spell might have really hurt his numbers, it actually leveled out pretty good. I think it was more of an indication of how hot he was earlier in the season. But again, earlier in the season, people were being a little too kind with how much space they were giving him from the 3-point line. That space evaporated mid-season, late season. It was non-existent, and he never really countered it. I think catch people backdoor a few times. Casey was one of the best we've seen doing it. And then for whatever reason, this team in particular, not just Essegian, has really been lacking on just making people pay on backdoor cuts. Like when you think of what Rink Mast was able to do last year was just constantly finding people backdoor. It's one of the easiest plays you'll get in basketball. And I think some of that comes with, we got a lot of transfers this year and it takes time to gel. I think you can say that road game versus Oregon was the best we looked in terms of just team chemistry. Fast breaks were going. They looked clean and crisp. The ball movement was there. But then for whatever reason, after that game, we just haven't necessarily had anything that's clicked that well. Like assist totals, I'd have to look, but I think that Oregon game might have been the best one. We do got one more, and then we'll throw it to break. This one from Bruce off of YouTube. Keys to victory tonight. Good morning, Pierson-El. Give me 3.
Consistent. Like that.
Orders.
I mean, people showing up, and I'm not. I mean, we said it earlier. You said 2 people that really do something. Connor, and then from there, it's you have a team, and your team necessarily don't do their part, and it's gotten us in trouble. So I think just being consistent as a whole team, whether that's creating turnovers and scoring in transition. I don't care if if it's the same guy scoring in transition, it's still taking points and whatnot. Establishing a defense of what we were seeing early in the season, and kind of getting that back to, the basics of stuff and everything like that. We haven't really heard too much, about the defense, about the schemes and everything like that late into the season. So I think, kind of getting back and refining that. And the bench has to show up. Everybody outside of, the starting five. I don't care if, your sixth and your seventh man, that they have to be more contributed. You can't just expect, 2 guys or 3 guys to do it. And if Bryce doesn't score 40, we're in trouble. Everybody else is Division I athletes too. So, I mean, hopefully the team or, collective group, 4 or 5 other people at least get, 10 to 12 points. I think that eases, Bryce, he doesn't have to do that. So I think those are the key 3 things to get things done.
Yeah, I like it. I'll put a number on it. 75 points. Like, get 75. If you get 75 points, that means you got more than just Bryce and Juwan. Unless those guys, combine for an unreal night, which I wouldn't be against. But to your point, like, it's just got to be more offensively. I don't care how good the defense is if you can't score enough points. And that's why the games like Michigan really hurt you as a Husker fan. Because it's like, man, defensively, we did everything right. Offensively, we couldn't hit the side of a barn. And those games are fun when you're in it. But when you lose, it hurts just in an unreal way because you think of all the shots, all the missed layups. And, that's been a problem for Nebraska. It's like layups. We've had a lot of games where you look at the layup total and it's like, how are we shooting 30% right at the cup? Like those are small numbers that, in the course of a game, it doesn't feel like you missed that many layups, and then you get to the end of it, and it's like, yeah, I know why we lost now. It's 3 for 13 on layups isn't going to get the job done. So
it all adds up.
To your point, like, I think our keys all kind of tie in. That's consistency, right? Like, you're a Division I player, a layup, you make that every time. You got to make it. Like, if you're at the rim and you don't got a whole lot of pressure, you got to figure out ways to convert. And again, that goes back to guys like Connor Essegian also looking for those layups. And then one more key to victory, I'll say just play loose. I don't want to see a team out there that looks like they're second guessing themselves already. Like, there's no room, no hanging their heads. There's absolutely no room for that left. This is the last game. Don't put your head down and pout. Like, that's just going to be a terrible way to end the year.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, I don't expect any of these guys to have energy issues. I expect them to play hard. Win or lose, I'm expecting them to win. But like I said, it's always a possibility in basketball that the other team just shoots 50+% from the 3-point line. But I think that's unlikely. I do got the Huskers in a win. I got them probably covering that 4.5 spread as well. And DeMornay, I know you got them winning. Cover the spread, 4.5?
I think so.
I think so too. We can wrap up on that. On a good, we both picking the Huskers to win versus Arizona State. And again, that one tips off in about 1 minute here. So we'll throw it to break. You guys, if you're going to watch that one, can tune in. You can keep us on in the background, though. Appreciate it. We'll throw it to break. 2 more segments on the other side.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at koppelcars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We should be seeing quite a bit of sunshine here for our Monday. Kind of a cool day out there. 54 for a high temperature, light northwest wind. We could see a few showers roll into the region later on tonight. We'll drop down to 40 for a low. Better chance of rain Tuesday into Tuesday night, maybe even some severe thunderstorms as well. High temperatures will get up into the mid-60s then. I'm meteorologist Aaron Downer for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena April 18th through the 19th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right. Certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El, the host, is always joining me via stream. You guys can join in as you have through the text line and YouTube, Facebook, X, any of those streaming platforms that you may prefer. We do have Husker basketball. They are officially tipping off here versus Arizona State just about any second now. And the winner of that one will play the winner between, I believe it was Butler that actually pulled that one out. Hold on, DeMornay Pierson-El. I think Butler actually won that first game earlier. So it'll be Butler versus Boise State and then Nebraska and Arizona. I think they'll play the winner of that one. Let me double check my bracket here, making sure we're giving people proper updates. So yeah, Butler ended up winning and Boise State won. So those two will play each other, and Nebraska will play Washington State or Georgetown if they win this one. And we'll keep you up to date on these games. And again, that championship would be Sunday, April 6th, this Sunday, if Nebraska is fortunate enough, if they play good enough to make their way all the way through. All right, that's enough on the College Crown, though. Let's talk some March Madness. We're down to the Final Four. Chalk, straight chalk, DeMornay Pierson-El. Nothing fancy in this one. It's the 1 seed versus the 1 seed, and on the other side, it's the 1 seed versus the 1 seed. Your thoughts?
I think the winner out of the Houston Duke game will win the whole national championship.
Yeah, that's what
I think either one of those teams, if they play Auburn, Auburn's a little bit more athletic than Florida. Big wise, they might match up a tad bit better. But if Florida wins out of that, I think both bigs, either if it's Duke's bigs or Houston's bigs, I think will take advantage and exploit Florida's big men.
Yeah, that's honestly what I came away with. Like after, especially Houston Purdue game, I was like, all right, I think Houston won by like what 2 points on that one. They didn't necessarily score a ton of offense, but Purdue's a really good team, right? I'm not gonna disrespect Purdue. They made it all the way to the championship last year. But I was like, okay, we'll see what they look like. And then they just bodied Tennessee. They just wiped them off the court. And I was like, okay, that Purdue game was a good test for them. But I just think Purdue's a well-coached team, and Houston didn't quite show up that day. They just
had an off day. I mean, their best player, was missing. I don't think he scored until late or middle of the second, half. So, I mean, and this happened, and they still weathered the storm. They still, got turnovers. They still shut them down defensively, and Purdue was hitting big shots. Purdue was actually on. That was keeping them in the game. But I mean, Houston, that second half came out and they doubled down and they looked, like a different team. I would say, well, that was probably the worst that they played, and it still kind of ended up better, for them because it kind of woke up a beast.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you what, Calvin Sampson and crew are. But they got Duke is the problem. Like Duke's been the other team where it's like
what Duke has been going up. So like each round, I feel like Duke takes off to another level. It's like, damn, they're looking really good. But I feel like all of these teams but Duke have had like a slip up game or a off game. This might be Duke's off game just at the worst time.
Yeah, and to your point, like I thought Alabama, even at Alabama, I was feeling bad about Alabama in that one. Yeah. Just because it's almost weird when you make that, when you take 50 plus threes and you make over half of them, like it's going to be hard, like going into the next game, just adjusting to not making every single shot you take. And it was kind of more of the same. I think, let me see how many threes they took. They obviously didn't take nearly as many, but they still took 32 threes.
God,
that's a lot of threes to be taking.
Yeah.
And I understand you made well over 50%. You took 50 the last game, but 32 threes. And I get it. It did get to a point where they felt like they had to force a lot. But then you go look at Duke, who scored 85 points, and they only took 13 of them. And they shot 6 for 13, so they were shooting a really good number. But again, I think it, especially in the era of like college basketball, you can get carried away with the 3-point shooting.
You get trigger happy.
Yeah, especially if you come away with a good night. And I think that's exactly what happened to Bama. They just started shooting because, again, if you're Bama, how are you going to beat Duke? Well, you're going to shoot them out of the gym. So it was part of their game plan. But again, I just don't. The same thing with like Creighton earlier in the year when Nebraska beat him. I was like, I don't like Creighton, but if I was a Creighton fan, I'm screaming like, maybe go inside a few times. Like, let's change it up because we're just bricking it. And I'll tell you what, Nebraska's smiling every time we take another three. That was Duke. Duke was just watching Bama shoot 3 after 3, and they're like, yeah, we'll take it. Like, you guys aren't going to get back into this
what Alabama usually does to teams, it got done to them.
Yeah.
And it just got uglier and uglier, and it just the snowball just kept, rolling and getting bigger, and it just Duke was out in transition. They were playing at a faster pace. They were playing with high energy. Flag was doing what he was doing, or anybody else that would get in the paint and just lob it. So, I mean, they would create momentum, and it just Alabama didn't have anything to kind of combat that enough to kind of stop the bleeding, and they couldn't really get into their set, and it got ugly quick.
Yeah, speaking of getting ugly quick, hopefully this isn't the case. Nebraska's down 2-8, and I think they just fouled a 3-point shooter. Weak foul, I will say. Or no, okay, he just made the 3. Either way, not a great start for Husker Hoops. We're talking about promising starts, but it's only 3 minutes I've played here. And okay, there we go. There's a nice dunk. from the man himself, Andrew Morgan, to get us back into things. I won't give you the commentary of the full game here, but I will give you score updates as Nebraska is facing Arizona State. But yeah, I just think between Duke, Houston, whoever wins that one's going to be the champion.
Yeah.
Florida, especially if Auburn manages to beat Florida, I don't think Auburn's got any chance to beat Duke or Houston. I feel bad for Duke and Houston because I think that's the champion and they're going to take each other out.
It was like that last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think the game before the national championship was the better game, if I'm not mistaken, or the last couple of games leading up to the national championship was actually better than the last one.
Yeah, I'd have to scratch my head and figure out who was all in the Final Four last year. But either way, it's kind of crazy how this year shook out. Even just the Elite Eight. I mean, you had 1-seeded Houston versus 2-seeded Tennessee, 1-seeded Florida versus 3-seeded Texas Tech, 1-seeded Auburn versus 2-seeded Michigan State, and 1-seeded Duke versus 2-seeded Alabama. So if anybody bragging about their bracket right now, you just pick the 1 seeds. Again, there's nothing wrong with it, but don't feel like some sort of genius. I mean, if you just followed the ones, you would have done really well for yourself. Are you surprised to see it be this chalk, though? It's not the first time it's happened.
UConn, Alabama, NC State, and Purdue were the last 4 for last year's Final Four.
Oh, that's right.
NC State was on that magical run. The big fella was getting it done.
I forgot about what's his name. I think he plays for the Grizzlies.
Couldn't tell you.
Either way, yeah, great player. Yeah, he had the sauce.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What was your question?
Yeah, just are you surprised? Like, is this trend of just chalk? Is it a result of NIL? And will this trend continue?
No, I don't think so, because Houston was a good team before, the NIL thing wasn't really there. They've been building. Alabama was kind of the same way. Duke, had they brought in a young phenom, and so I don't think that's the case with most. Not everybody is an Auburn type of team. So I don't think so.
I think we'll see. Like, I'm not surprised to see the 1 seeds all the way to the top. I do think we'll run into less upsets, though. They'll still happen. But again, like, you're going to have, as you see with any players, like, I know Jamarcus Lawrence is catching our airwaves over here because he used to be a Nebraska Husker playing for Rhode Island. He hit the portal already. Like, if you're a good player and you're playing on a non-power 4, you're probably going to get picked up to go play for a bigger university that has more money. You're still going to have fun years. I just think, unfortunately, March Madness will be less of the madness. It'll look more like the one.
I think that not necessarily that's a good thing, but I think that's going to bring a different type of competition, though, because people might not expect certain things, and then when it happens or whatnot, it's like, oh, wait a minute here, we might have found something, and that might. I don't want to say that it's not going to be the new norm, but it's definitely going to get exploited a lot more than what it has been in the past.
Well, and I will say they are finding something out about this as we're talking about it being pretty much chalk. The ratings love chalk. This apparently the ratings up to this point have been, I think, the best. And like, I don't want to put out a blatant lie. I can't remember the exact number, but the ratings are doing much better than they normally do in recent years past. So, it is one of those things like, is it less exciting? Maybe if you're an Arizona State fan or a Nebraska fan, but there's a lot of Duke fans. There's a lot of Houston fans. There's a lot of Kentucky fans. There's a lot of fans of these good teams in here. And I think as a result, you are seeing a massive following. You don't necessarily need that 12, 10 seeded Cinderella team to bring in that viewership. It can't just be the 1 seeds in the chalk, and you're going to do better numbers wise as a result, or at least that's what this year has been showing thus far. We'll throw it to break one more time. Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pierson-El. We got the third segment on the other side. Like I said, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Now's the perfect time to get even stronger at Planet Fitness. Save $28 or more when you join today for just $1 down, $15 a month. Mix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right, certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at koppelcars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Who are you?
I'm the Truck Fairy.
You mean the Tooth Fairy?
No, Truck Fairy. I appear when someone dreams about winning one of the 8 new trucks in the Nebraska Lottery's Trucks and Bucks scratch game.
Oh, so you leave Trucks and Bucks tickets under my pillow?
No.
Cash?
Sorry.
What exactly do you do?
Remind people to play today.
Don't think I need a Truck Fairy for that.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Play Trucks and Bucks from your Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds are 1 in 336,000.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena April 18th through the 19th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, where your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. Harrison Arns back at the Ticket Studio. And as always, you can put any last-second comments in there on the Starter Heyman text line. Close game between Arizona State and Nebraska. I believe it's 14-12. Nebraska currently leading it as a Braxton Mia picks up a foul. 14-12. Nebraska leading it. 12 minutes left to go in that first half. And like I said before, we'll have some sort of version of a post-game. Not entirely sure what it's going to look like yet, but Austin Orman, at the very least, he'll down there. He'll give you a report via Twitter, maybe even hop on the stream as well. But good morning, Pierson-El. Like I said, a few minutes left here. Let's talk a little bit Husker football. We talked a lot with Tom Chattel on that first hour, but give me your thoughts just on everything we've heard so far coming out of the podium. We've heard a lot from Spindler. We'll hear from John Butler tomorrow, more about the defense, which I'm curious about. But we've heard some things from Mike Eckler. Anything that so far has caught your ear through spring practice?
Not necessarily that's caught my ear. I mean, I love the energy from the linebackers coach. He from what I'm hearing, he's been getting after things. I love what I'm hearing from the D-line coach and what they're saying about that. The other day, I think the Husker account posted pictures of like interceptions. So clearly, the defense isn't. And I mean, it's especially early on, that usually kind of happens week 2 when kind of things get tired out. But a dominant day for the defense showing or whatnot, that's a bonus. But it's still, it's not that I don't pay attention to it. Like everybody's excited, everybody is all happy. Rah. Let's see after 2.5 weeks when everything settles in. Let's see who brings the energy. Let's see who brings the juice. Let's see what the coaches keep saying or what they change up what they say. So I take the early things kind of with a grain of salt, just because it's like the new toy for Christmas. You got it for a week or a month. It might be the new thing, and then sooner or later it's like on to the next type of thing. So that's what I'm kind of waiting to see. What our players saying, what our coaches saying. Kind of after things have settled down a little bit, and people are tired, people are sore, and you kind of get the real evaluation of how they feel about stuff.
Yeah, and with the spring is always too, you're not going to have coaches point out reasons you should be concerned. They're going to be like, well, yeah, I was looking at our secondaries, and I think it's going to be a real problem. We seem slow out there. They're not going to say that. It's going to be pretty much all positive things. There might be some heart-to-heart moments, but it's going to be things that give you hope and reasons to believe why this team's going to be good and why this is the right group of guys and why it's the right staff. That being said, though, you can pull good things from it. Like, I have been hearing the things that you hope to hear. It's not like I'm giving critical grades on what I'm hearing. But again, I think just about all Nebraska fans at this point we got to see it to believe it. There's only so much hype. I will say, though, the backup quarterback position, Dylan Rail is obviously a very important part, but if he goes down, how nervous are we? Because it's not, I mean, this happens all the time in college football. The backup can be forgotten, but if you don't have any plan, it can be
I mean, you heard Ryler speak highly of keeping a guy and hoping, he told him he needs him here and everything like that. With a stronger structure in that room, as the offensive coordinator and everything like that, you have an older guy who's kind of seen a lot and who's helping a younger guy. Of course, maybe, the talent drop off, maybe something in there, but at the end of the day, he got a Division I scholarship for a reason. So I believe if the coaches put him in a position to be successful and everything like that. Now, it might not necessarily look like what it will be with Dylan or whatnot, but he can still be successful. He still has weapons. He still is accurate. He still can throw. He knows where to go with the ball. He's going to be in tune with things, with how they're going to call things. So I wouldn't say, depending on how bad the injury, or hopefully, nothing happened, depending on how bad of the situation, would determine how much panic or, concern that I have. But him being in there and taking over things, I mean, he was a stud at where he was. So I know he can play. So I'm not nervous about that.
Yeah, and you're hearing things like from Gramstad as well that they're high on him. So I think just having a guy like Dylan Raiola there elevates the room. Dana Holgerson, he's got a ton of experience. I just think you put all that stuff together, the room should elevate. Hopefully the development looks good there. It's hard to read where the
you have a freshman quarterback who's been given the keys just about everywhere he's been. Adversity, the type of adversity he's faced has been different than what he's facing now. So you have to give him time to adjust, learn, and not even halfway through his first season, you already brought in a new coach. So again, they have to build a relationship and everything like that. It's a work in progress. So I think he'll be fine. He's taking things a lot serious. You can tell his maturity or whatnot. I think it's going to be a huge year, a huge jump for him, just because he's going to understand the offense a lot better. He's going to understand expectations and whatnot. So I'm not concerned about that part at all. He's going to know where to go, why he's going there. And, he's a smart individual. His dad is a lineman. He understands fronts. He understands coverage. And then you pile that up with Dana's, history and whatnot, that's a lethal combination.
Yeah. And hopefully that's the combination we talk about all the time. I think when we look at this program, we like all the pieces. We like a lot of the coaches. We like the athletes. It's like, can you get that all in one final package, though? Like, is the communication all there? Because it's the communication.
You've seen Dana turn them to a more physical, more disciplined team in a few weeks, and you've seen him run games out, run the ball and everything like that. So it's not like he's not saying that he's not going to run the ball. And I think everybody, next year will probably be saying, they're going to have to stop the run because again, it can open the doors up to a lot of things. So again, if you make it a easy, simple game with that, or if you want to stack the box, and we brought in some receivers, and we have some receivers here, again, with an accurate quarterback, with the weapons that we have at tight end, running back, and receiver, pick your poison on what you're going to be, on what you want to stop. Dana's going to understand how people are going to try and attack us and stop us, and you have a smart quarterback that can make any and every throw. He can run when he needs to. You have an elite back who, he finishes leaning forward, and you got elite receivers, speedsters, or big guys going to get the ball. So it's not going to be as big of a jump because he's more familiar with the offense. So I think things will take off a lot faster than what people think from the quarterback's position head, from his head up more so than the athletic ability.
Well said. And with that being said, we do got to wrap things up here on the Don't Punt Hour. Final score update, 19-19. 9 minutes left to go in that first half between Nebraska men's basketball and Arizona State in the first year of the college basketball crown. Appreciate the time as always. Good morning, Pierson-El. We'll do it again tomorrow. This has been the Don't Punt Hour.